Chester Elton is my guest. He is a motivational expert, author of a new book called All In. His mission is to make work more enjoyable for all of us. From the day Chester started working, he's loved working, I think. He was inspired by his dad, who jumped out of bed early every morning to enthusiastically head for the office or the radio station right here in this town. And that was before the alarm went off. So you learned that from Dad and all of that. What started the carrot principle? What is the carrot principle? Let's go back.
Well, we love the carrot. To me, it's the universal symbol of reward. The opposite of the carrot, of course, is the
stick.
Stick, right. And what we found is that you can get short-term results with the stick, absolutely. But if you want long-term engagement, long-term results, you've got to look for more positives than negatives. In fact, great study was done by the Harvard Business Review that the positive ratio in the workplace is 5 positive interactions to every 1 negative, which is really interesting because I was doing a workshop not too long ago and asked the people, it was about 40 top managers in this organization, what do you think the ratio should be? And one woman said, well, it should be 1-to-1, balance. For every compliment, there should be a criticism. After all, we're managers, we're looking to correct things.
Right.
We're problem solvers. And I said, really, 1-to-1? Try that at home. Just try that at home. Your wife comes out ready for you're going to go out to dinner and says, honey, what do you think of this dress? And you say, great color, makes you look fat. That's 1-to-1.
Yeah, that's 1-to-1.
and your odds of going for dinner that night just went way down.
Exactly.
It's really interesting.
Maybe it's true.
well, and then there's discretion, right?
Of course.
But what we find is as managers, we look to correct. And so we're problem solvers, so we look for problems. Avis Budget does a great job on this, by the way. They have a manager, Carlos Aguilera in Dallas, manages about 500 people. And he has this really unique practice. Now, a little bit on Carlos. Highest employee engagement, lowest turnover, most profit. I mean, in every category you measure success, his people are top notch. So I was interviewing him and I said, Carlos, tell me, what is your best manager practice? And he said, without question, it's 10 pennies. Now, tough to do in Canada now because you don't have pennies.
Right.
But the point is, he said
2 nickels.
10 nickels. So he puts 10 pennies in his left pocket every morning and sets a goal to have 10 positive interactions with his people every day. And every time he does, he moves the penny to the other pocket. He says, if I get to lunch and I've got 9 pennies in my left pocket, I'm not doing my job. Interesting. So great challenge for your listeners. Try it. 10 is a lot.
Yes.
Now, here's the point. Does he have tough conversations? Absolutely.
Right.
But he's earned it, and his people, when he shows up, are happy to see him because he's the teacher, he's engaged, he knows them. He compliments them on what they do right. Now, Avis as an organization every day sends out a blast email of a great customer service story to start every day in every meeting across the Avis universe. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
start on a
does.
high point instead of a low point.
Sure, but
And it's the carrot.
It's the carrot. Dangle that carrot, and
Right.
but there was somebody in the book, and I think it was a control freak boss, and he said to somebody, Johnson, everyone knows a good presentation includes pie charts, right?
Right.
And Johnson says, well, not mine.
Right.
And why are you right and I'm not? Just because you're the boss.
Well, that's all that feedback, right? That's where you've got to know your people and you look at results.
Right.
We talk about rewarding people in the workplace. I say, look, you encourage effort, but you reward results. If Johnson gets great results without using pie charts, then my recommendation is everybody should take pie charts out of their presentations,
Sure, like,
right?
who says you need a pie chart to make a great presentation? Who says?
Exactly. So look for the results, reinforce the positive behavior.
What about social awareness in a company? You saw it start at the Body Shop, where they give back.
Oh, sure.
And there's an idea of what's going on in the world, and our company is helping an orphanage in Thailand.
Perfect.
For instance.
Right. So people want to do business.
Do people really care?
Oh, absolutely.
They do.
One of the great case studies is, remember when we found out that Nike was making soccer balls in Vietnam for 10 cents a day? Nobody wanted to wear the swoosh. Now, they corrected it, and nice comeback. No, people want to do business with good people. And again, it comes back to not just what you do and how you do it, but why do you do it? And if part of your why is to make your community better, to support an orphanage, to gather food for the hungry or shelter for the homeless, absolutely that drives pride in the brand, pride in the symbol, and customers do flock to that. Now, you've got to have a good product priced well and well distributed.
Sure.
But with all those in place, that kind of social awareness is an accelerator.
So a
to your
social
business.
conscience and
Absolutely.
a green conscience, and be
Absolutely.
aware of what's going on in the world. Who's your hero in all of this? There's many who have endorsed this book,
Yeah.
but somebody you admire who's a top CEO, someone who really gets it.
Well, G.J. Hart is one of my favorite business guys, and I have lots of them, but he was at Texas Roadhouse and did a great job with them.
What is Texas Roadhouse?
Texas Roadhouse is a restaurant chain.
Okay.
And so they
In Texas.
well, yeah, they're all over the place. But,
Okay.
But what he did there is he found that they were making great contributions to big charities, and yet he had employees, hourly employees, that when they wrecked their car couldn't replace the car. He tells the story of a dishwasher that he had actually trained with as he was going through all his steps to become CEO. Passed away unexpectedly. His family didn't have enough money to bury him. So GJ organized the officers. Of course, they paid for it, but then he established a fund called the Andy Armadillo Fund. That's their mascot. We have the carrot, they have the armadillo, where employees contribute company matches for employee emergencies. And engagement went way up. In fact, built a store where the 100% of the profit goes to employee needs. Now they have a panel. You submit your need, and if it's valid, then they don't write you a check, but they buy you the car you need, or they pay the bill, or the hospital bill, or the funeral. Well, what I love about GJ is these are things that are absolutely transferable. And so now he's at California Pizza Kitchen. One of the first things he did, along with revising the menu and creating a more inclusive culture, is he said, we're going to set up this fund for employees, because while the customer is really important, absolutely, people that deliver to our customers, our employees, are the most important people in the organization. If they feel good about their jobs, if they feel safe, they have a sense of well-being, they can move up in the organization, their voices are heard.
Sure.
It's going to be better. And by the way, California, he's been there just over a year. The transformation is remarkable. And here's what they will tell you about GJ. And I love this when employees say this about the boss, not just their super, the boss's boss. They go, GJ, he's the real deal.
The real deal.
What you see is what you get.
I am
He
so lucky
cares.
to have worked with him.
Exactly.
Don't you like to hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what a privilege it was.
And he's in the trenches with them, and they know him, and he knows their names, and he works with them. Remarkable leader.
So you're a leader, and you have employees, and every employee has some ingenious idea,
Sure.
right? Maybe not, but they want to be heard. So they come up with a great idea, and nobody pays attention.
Lose him quickly.
Lose them quickly.
Yeah, see, that's a highly engaged employee without being enabled, and
Right.
clearly with no reinforcement is not energized. With those great ideas will disappear.
Right,
And,
or
and,
you-
and they'll take those ideas to their next job.
Right, or you get an email saying, thanks for reaching out.
Well, yeah, here's
Yeah.
here's the thing that I love teaching executives, and it's exactly what you just did. General praise has no impact. Like if you say, hey, Fanny, great job, great job, great job.
Yeah.
Finger guns blazing. Doesn't matter.
No.
But if I say, hey, Fanny, that was a great idea to change the venue. Put it out in front of the windows. Have people walking by. That's Vancouver. That was a great idea. Let's go ahead and do that. The specificity in reinforcing the idea, implementing it, that energizes
Exactly,
me.
because occasionally, I don't know if managers go to motivational meetings, but they probably do, and you get suddenly a little token letter. And you know it's a token letter, right?
It's the form letter.
It's the form letter, and everybody got one, and you say they must have been at one of those engage your employees
Right.
things. And what you want is the authentic deal.
Yeah,
Right,
see,
the real carrot.
Right. I'm a big fan, and I know it's very retro and old-fashioned, but very effective. A handwritten note.
Absolutely.
Now, you've
effective.
received a handwritten note,
Yes.
and you've kept some of them. Why? Why did you keep that and not the form letter or the blast email?
Because it was more personal. No, even in this age, it doesn't matter. When I got fired, you get hired to get fired in the media business.
Sure.
And I got fired from, I think it was CKNW. And then they rehired me. You know how it goes, up and down. And Carol Taylor wrote me a wonderful letter. I don't know if she was our finance minister and friend. And she said, and then there were none. Right? And I've never forgotten it. I have it. It will always be there. And yeah, somebody reached out.
Absolutely. And think about all the people that you know. And sometimes randomly you just want to reach out and
Sure,
say, hey,
absolutely.
was thinking about you. You know,
Yeah.
I have a good friend, his name is Mike Goodson, and we've known each other forever. And I was having a particularly tough day. And I just sent him a quick text and I said, hey, Mike, I'm having a tough day. Say something nice about me and send it to me. And he sent me this little paragraph. He goes, Chester, you are one of a kind. You are amazing. Nobody does more to make people feel good about themselves. And at the end, his son goes, don't you ever feel down. You are Spartacus.
With an orange tie and orange socks.
Exactly.
And an orange phone.
You can never get
and
too
an
much of
orange
that,
bracelet.
right? That's right. And orange socks and orange shoelaces.
Oh my gosh.
You
this
got to
is
live
good.
the brand.
This is the brand. This is definitely the brand. And you have to buy this book because you have to find out how you can get a field oil worker to eat tofu.
Exactly.
The guy who did that, that's a big thing.
You bet. Well, listen, here's your little bit of tofu. Great interview. Here's your very own carrot.
thank you.
Congratulations. The wristband that you can wear, remind yourself
great.
every day.
Great. And about the socks.
Yeah, I don't have any socks for you, sorry.
I love orange socks.
They'll be in the mail.
We'll negotiate.
You got
okay. Chester Elton with Adrian Gostek, All In. Remember, you can catch our conversations on YouTube or follow me on Twitter at Fanny Kiefer. There'll be many more motivational, inspiring, and impressive carrots to come. Thanks for watching Shaw TV and being with me today.